it's cool to be able to introduce Ayurveda, which is so vast, through food
Hmm.
and through the ritual of eating, because you can, the ideas that Ayurveda has such a, like, there's guidelines for eating food and how to approach it, because, they're like, okay, don't sit, make sure you're sitting down, and don't be overstimulated as well, because, your body needs resources to digest everything well. So if you want good digestion, try these things. So don't talk about politics or religion with people, while you're doing that. Leave your phone off, So just like, if you're eating, eat. Like, focus on that. And it's about preparing food with the right energy as well. And it's just beautiful. And there's no like chew 20 times and then swallow thing. It's like, I think it's like, get to like a porridgey kind of oatmeal kind of texture. But yeah, but there's a whole approach to eating well for good digestion.
Life is full of adventurous twists and turns, including the ones we create through our passions, dreams, desires, and discoveries. In the Life by Sarah podcast, join me and my guests as we talk about staying passionate and creative in the midst of all the chaos that is life. Hi, I'm Sarah Ann Compton, and this is the Life by Sarah podcast. All right, welcome everybody to the Life by Sarah podcast. I actually have a really incredible guest here. This is a friend from years ago. We worked together, Justine Tregloan. Say hi.
Hi. I missed my cue.
I am super excited to have Justine on this podcast. She's been doing some incredible things over the last couple years, and this is kind of a selfish podcast in a way, because it's also a really good chance for me to get to know you again after a few years and catch up. So we are going to have a blast. So let's first find out who Justine is. Justine Tregloan is a communications project manager by day and an Ayurveda lifestyle guide, Reiki healer, and yoga teacher outside of work. Based in Phoenix, her journey into Ayurveda began through a personal search for more balance, healing, self-understanding, and ritual in everyday life. She's dedicated to making ancient wellness practices feel practical and acceptable for modern living, especially for busy people navigating stress, overwhelm, and disconnection. Alongside teaching yoga, Justine also creates wellness events and gatherings that weave together Ayurveda, mindfulness, ritual, and nourishing Ayurvedic inspired food. She loves exploring how simple daily and seasonal practices can help people feel more connected to themselves and their communities. You can follow her work and everyday Ayurveda inspired living on Instagram at working-Ayurveda, or it's working_Ayurveda. And I mean, first you sent me that bio and I was like, this is incredible. It's a little bit more than I realized, but what caught me on everything that you've been doing over the last few years, I mean, I don't know how much of it stemmed from our past, our history together, which is working for a wellness company. And there's like a whole craziness for both of us that goes into that. But I'd like to start out just getting to know Justine a little bit more. Tell us, in your own words, Justine, who are you?
Oof. Well, listening back to that bio, I was like, okay, I've done some things. It doesn't feel like it, but like I've put some time into learning this. So, Australian originally. So I've been here almost half of my life. Came for school, thinking that I would stay a year and then just go back to Australia, but things fell into place, and it's been 20 years this August. So I studied communications at BYU and then worked in a few different jobs. One that I stayed with for about 8 years. But now I've moved down to Arizona. So one by one, my whole family's moved to the US. So we're all here within about half an hour of each other. So I'm really in Arizona, to get away from the snow, yes, but then to just be close to family and have that support system. So, gosh, what else? that bio did a lot of the hard work there, but I'm very wellness oriented. I think I grew up quite religiously in different kind of religions, and so I've had this kind of wellness bent to me, and there's like this mindfulness and open mindedness throughout my life, based on my parents' jobs and where we went religiously and whatnot. But it's been fun to explore myself and explore what fits with who I am now. I mean, a big turning point in my life was about 4 years ago. The company that we were working for, you left, a couple of years before then. It wasn't doing so great, and I got caught up in a reduction in force. But it was what I needed. I was incredibly burnt out. I loved the job and what I was doing, but I gave so much of myself to it. And at the time, I was really looking for some kind of balance. So that's really what led me to Ayurveda. And then from there, it kind of split off into all sorts of different directions. But I was really looking for a way to balance myself, because I just wasn't myself, and I didn't know how to get back to that. So Ayurveda really gave me a framework to understand what was going on in my life, how to look at different situations, and so it's been fun to explore that and all the offshoots from that. I got it certified in Reiki as well. I've been exploring, I'm doing some certifications in yoga. I'm getting into cooking more. I used to hate cooking. I was like, why? Let's just eat out. But I've been exploring and having a lot more fun with flavor and whatnot. So life has become more fun since I've made that big change about 4 years ago, which was kind of handed to me, but it was a change that I wanted on some kind of level, and it has worked out, and it plopped me on a whole different trajectory. So I'm very mindfulness focused these days. I'm using it to keep balancing myself. I'm never going to arrive and be all fully balanced and fully healed and all of that, but it's a way for me to kind of go through life with a lot more ease. So I'm a proud aunt. I love doing that. Take them on aunt dates and whatnot. So again, they're all close by. So that's all good fun. So developing more friends down in Arizona. So getting together with them and doing the foodie thing. I love all kinds of food. So yeah, developing a network down here after 4 years and after COVID restrictions and whatnot too. So it's a good life. It's good fun.
That's awesome. It sounds awesome. It sounds fun. Let's talk a little bit more about Ayurveda and your journey, like the history that led you to it and your journey to discovering that that was a path you wanted to go down.
Sure, sure. I might kind of preface it by saying, what is Ayurveda? So it's a
That's
Sanskrit
helpful,
word
yes.
for, yeah, just in case, because what I've noticed is people are like, huh, they've never really heard of it. So Ayurveda is it's a Sanskrit word. The two words put together really translate to the science of life. So it's a philosophy for living. It's the traditional health system of India. It's about 5,000 years old. Still has so much relevance for now. They used it for everything. It goes into surgery and it was medicine. That's exactly what they do. So I love it for like the daily rituals and the self-care and the seasonality of it all. But it's the sister science to yoga as well. So people know yoga, they kind of get it if I kind of pair that together as well. So it really looks at life through the lens of the elements, and it helps us to give us a framework to look at life and everything around us through the lens of the elements to be able to balance our minds and our bodies. So your question was how did I find it? So again, I was totally burnt out, looking for something to help balance me. My sister said, because Ayurveda is so much about digestion, yes, through the belly, but through all your other senses too. So she went to see an Ayurvedic doctor for some digestive issues, and she said, Justine, you would love this, go check it out. So I found somebody in Salt Lake who's an Ayurvedic doctor, sat down with her, and two sessions in, she's like, this is really resonating with you. Maybe this is something you should look into learning and teaching for yourself. full body chills like I've never had before.
Wow.
That's my sign of like, ding, 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 you should pay attention to this. So I looked into it, and I started studying with the California College of Ayurveda. So I did I think a 700-800 hour course through them, I think. And it's been a blast. But I really came to it because I did want some balance. Things were totally haywire in my life. I felt like I lost who I was. I didn't really know who I was anymore, and I kind of wanted a way to get back there. And it's been a beautiful thing. There's again that it looks through life through the lens of the elements. So through my time with the Ayurvedic doctor, she said, okay, this is who you are through something called the doshas. This is who you are. Here's who you are at the time of your conception. That's when it's calculated and kind of set. This is like who you are, and this is your best balance for your mind and your body. So the doshas really are just a mind-body constitution. So everyone has one. They're all fingerprint unique. So she said, look, this is who you are. And it made me go, yeah, that makes sense for who I am. But then she also said, but this is where you're out of balance right now, using a very similar kind of methodology. But this is where you're out of balance. So my vata, my air, and my ether elements were way off. So I was so busy in my head. I was anxious. I was ding, ding, ding all over the place. My pitta, which is the fieriness, was all out of whack too, because of burnout. There's the fire connection there too. So it just gave me a lens to go, okay, and the words and the right language to go, okay, this is what's going on with me. Here's where I need to get back into. So I love that. I love the personality typing of Myers-Briggs and Enneagram and human design and stuff like that. So I love that this was kind of a personality typing as well, but something that I could really grab hold onto as well. So I love it for the self-care of it all. This, like, Ayurveda is so much about ritual and seasonality and the little things. So it's really just kind of slotted into my life to help with the everyday, and so I know what to do. If I'm ding ding dinging all around, then I know, okay, this is what's going on. Here's what to do. So the idea is like it's Ayurveda is a science of balancing. So if you're all up here in your head, ding ding ding, you need some grounding. Or if you're really fiery and you're intense and that fiery pitta, then you cool it down with certain things. So you can do it through breathing, through food, which is what I love, food and drink. You can do it through yoga. There's so many different ways. So I love that it's just become such a natural toolbox. And essential oils, I still use so many of them. So I work all of that in as well. So it has not been everything's fine now. It's a toolbox to pull from when I need it. So it's helping to solve things a little bit quicker, or to kind of help things a little bit quicker than I did before. So it's been such a life change. So yeah.
That's so cool. I first learned about Ayurveda when I was doing my yoga teaching certification. There's actually another girl in my class who was doing Ayurveda certification at the same time that she was doing this 200-hour yoga certification, which I think is incredibly impressive. But then I started taking a 300-hour course, and it goes into the doshas and the Ayurveda a little bit more. And what I found interesting is what it talks about with dis-ease, not disease, but dis-ease, like dis-ease in your body, and how it's looking for things that are just off balance and all about preventing something from happening, which I absolutely love, because I feel like in the world of Western medicine, we're missing so much of that, because everything is like, in our world, it's more band-aid and treating the symptoms, and not enough of like actually going to the core or the root of the issue and working to heal that. And so Ayurveda is very fascinating to me in that sense.
Yes, absolutely. Ayurveda is so much about prevention. Like, if you could take care of a lot of your daily routines, keep them quite maintained and balanced, then you're less likely to get really imbalanced. But yes, you have the tools to get back. I mean, it goes into you can be a clinical Ayurvedic specialist, you can be an Ayurvedic doctor as well. So it goes deep and wide. But yeah, that's the big idea too. Like if you can get your daily rhythms set pretty well to what you need them to be for you, that should prevent a lot of things. But yeah, I love that idea of like dis-ease. And that's what they say in Ayurveda, that any dis-ease is because you've strayed from who you are. You know, that original constitution that I was telling you about, like who you are, that fingerprint unique expression of the elements through you. If there's too much or too little of a certain element, you're going to get out of balance, and that manifests in certain ways. It could be, digestive issues. It could be, acid reflux. It could be anxiety. There's certain uh, there's certain parts. If there's too much or too little, there's you can describe it. Yeah. So again, that framework is handy to go, oh, this is what's going on. This is what I can do differently. But yeah, I love that kind of way of like, disease is because you've strayed from who you are. So get
Yeah,
back into balance. Yeah.
that is such a cool idea. I read this book recently. It's by a pretty prominent yogi in like the online space. Her name is Brett Larkin, and she wrote a book specifically about yoga. And she has this really fun section that's about doshas. So can you tell me a little bit about what a dosha is and the different types of doshas there are?
Sure, sure. So doshas are an energetic blueprint. So really it is, so there are three. So there's vata, pitta, and kapha. So they're a combination of two of the five main elements. So vata is a combination of air and ether, so space. So those kinds of people are very creative, very quick-minded. They can speak quickly. Um, I mean, one thing I really love about Ayurveda too is, I can look at somebody and be like, oh, I think I know their personality.
Hmm.
So you like Vata people, like if they, I mean, because everybody has a strongest dosha that
Hmm.
expresses through them. So we're a mixture of all three of them, and we need them all. But we tend to have one that's most prominent. So I can look at someone and be like, okay, if they're a particularly Vata person, they tend to be tall, quite lean, kind of longer features, like longer fingers. They've got like a longer, pointier tongue. They've got a longer nose. They've kind of got smaller eyes, even kind of almondy eyes. Um, so that kind of thing, and that's really cool. So that's kind of the Vata dosha. Second one is Pitta. A lot of fire with a little bit of water to really contain it. So those people are what you'd expect fiery people to be. They're quite intense. They can burn out. Too much, and they can burn out. They are quite passionate people. They're very focused. They're very driven. A lot of US presidents are very pitta
Hmm.
prominent as well. So those people have kind of they're kind of mid-range body size and lengthwise and whatnot. Um, and then you've got the kapha. So that is a combination of water and earth. So those people can be a little bit more. There's more earth to them, so they can be a little bit more set. Like there's more mass to them. There's more solidness to them. But those people, if you describe somebody as grounded, then they might have a lot of kapha in them. So there's people that we call teddy bears. These quite it can be kind of solid people, but they have just such beautiful compassion, hearts of gold. So that kind of thing too. So those people, yeah, a bit more heavy set, a bit thicker, like around the neck. There's a bit more roundness to the face. Yeah, so I'm a kapha, mostly kapha, with a good chunk of vata as well. So like my I feel kind of quite emotional and kind of watery, and I like to be quite grounded as well. So that comes out there. And even what I'm choosing, like Ayurveda, that's such a serviceable, emotion-filled kind of space to get into. But then you've got the Vata. Like I'm so ding, ding, ding in my brain all the time. There's always so many different ideas and so many things, and I jump around and I can talk really quickly too. So they come out at different times. But yeah, we're all a mix of all the different doshas. But yeah, so they're the physical expression of the elements.
Fascinating.
Mm.
And my understanding too is like so because you're a kapha, is it that if you have too much pitta, that can be that can create you to have off or be more off balance?
Kind of. I mean, it's they kind of act a little bit independently, and so much can take us out of balance. Like so much is, we can do it to ourselves, but then the world that we live in is so busy. So that influences. We're digesting that as a sense. So too much media, too much scrolling can make your mind too busy, and that can overload your vata. But yeah, like if you work too much, or if you're too intense on some things, or if you're too serious, that can, or even if you eat too much spicy food, that can all increase your pitta as well. So yeah, it all kind of happens independently of each other. But sometimes, anyway, it gets into a bit of detail, but sometimes, if you're wanting some, like if vata is like too much, like for me, like my brain is so busy and I've really got to kind of tamp it down. So I'm looking for some grounding. So
Mm.
I'm pulling in from, some, if I try to ground too much, then I could be overloaded in my kapha. And that's happened to me before too. I'm like, well, food is delicious and that's grounding me, but I'm probably having a little bit too much. And that's showing where I don't want it.
It's so fun. So how does somebody go about finding out what their dosha is?
There are online quizzes that you can do, and they get you kind of close. That's more for a fun thing, but there's all sorts of Ayurvedic counselors out there to go see. That's the best way to do it, is to really sit down with someone. They can look at you. They look at um your childhood years as well, like the
Mm.
patterns through that, because it's about what you look like, but then what you look like now, but then particularly what you look like in your younger years, because that's where it kind of sits, and that's where it really shows. Um, so yeah, speak to them. They'll guide you through and say, look, this is who you are. This is your best balance. So this is likely who you are as a person. Does this resonate? And then they'll go, okay, same methodology. Here's where you're out of balance right now. So you're here with all these different kind of levels. Here's where you want to be. Here's where I suggest you start making some changes. So
That is so cool. It's
yeah,
very fascinating to me. Just the whole, I mean, yeah. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's really interesting and fascinating.
it is. It just clicks, and the fact that a lot of us know. I mean, it's such an easy thing to connect to, is nature.
Yeah.
Is the elements. So that's what's really helped me to kind of understand it too. Like, okay, I already know the
Yeah.
elements, and I get that. I get the concepts around them too. So it really just landed for me.
Well,
But yeah, I'm
what's,
noticing that. Oh, go
oh
ahead.
no, continue.
I was going to say I'm noticing that Ayurveda, people don't really understand it. They've never really heard it. Like it's such a big thing in India and some
Hmm.
areas over there, but it's only just starting to come to the US in a bigger way. So that's been kind of a challenge for me, is because I'm trying to do some events, and because I've got so much in me that wants to come out, and I want to share all of this, because I'm like, I found something that's really cool that makes so much sense to me. Here it is.
Hmm.
It's such a learning curve to it, but yeah, I mean, people get the yoga connection again, so it's getting there with how people understand it.
Yeah. Um, man, what was I gonna say? I just got
Good
caught up in
question.
what
I
you
cut
were
you off.
saying.
Sorry.
Mm. Um, oh, I remember. It's because I was thinking about the elements and how it's so fascinating, though, that when you look at history and the way that people have tried to understand the world and their relation to this world, a lot of it has come down to the elements. Like, and I think we've kind of gotten away from that as science has advanced, but there's so much I think that you can still take from a lot of that history. So it's
So
kind of cool that you
much.
can take that from this ancient healing or wellness.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah,
study.
exactly. And the cool thing is, 5,000 years later, it still makes sense, because these
Yes.
elements are still part of our experience. But like traditional Chinese medicine they're similar in some respects. So yeah, so there's, Asian cultures have latched onto this idea of, the elements, and using the elements and the concepts around it to balance us.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to it, obviously.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. And I love that it's just like it's not a religion, it's just a philosophy. And
Hmm.
you'll never, there's never a mountaintop to achieve. There's so many different directions you can go with Ayurveda. And that was something that I struggled with. I'm like, okay, I've gone through this course. I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to increase here and I da da da. You'll never arrive. You like, and so give yourself a little bit of a break because you ate the McDonald's when you maybe a better option was to eat this, some kind of Indian inspired, spicy thing. But like it's the way I like to look at it is it's there for when you need it. So use it for when you need it. You don't have to go fully, Ayurvedic life. Pull from your toolbox and
That's
use it as you
awesome.
need to. Yeah. So that helps it to feel more accessible and not like you have to
Yeah.
conform to anything.
I really like that you call it a toolbox too, because I think sometimes people think that when you get so entrenched in some type of healing study, that it just, you have to become so a part of it and it has to become so a part of you that like nothing else, you can't even focus on anything else. But it's like, it's not meant to be just something that you become completely entrenched in. It's something that you're supposed to use as you need it.
Yeah, yeah. And that was something that I worked through as well. I was like, okay, I found my thing. This is kind of part of my purpose now. I need to share this and I need to, yell it far and wide and just, bring this to life a bit more. But I'm going to use this word, alienated me from some people
Mm.
because I went too far in my family. It was like, we get it, Justine. Okay, just give it a rest. You don't have to go so in because I mean, at that point, like it was imbalancing me to get so into it.
Mm.
So, but then I went, let's back off and just yeah, use it as that toolbox and it's meant to complement my life. I'm not meant to conform to it. So, and that's what it's
I
done.
love
I've
that.
shifted my, morning routines. There's some beautiful things that I've tried for nighttime routines. Like I shut my lights off at about 8 p.m. and I just use lamps. There's something called Trataka, which is like fixed gazing. So a lot of people do it with a candle. So I drop all the lights. I just set up a candle and I just look into it.
Hmm.
And it is so meditative. That's one of my favorite things to do. Um, I mean, the idea of fire is that it's illuminating. So,
Hmm.
the concept of that is like, it kind of, and with the darkness around, it kind of clears everything away. You're fixed on this and it allows the mind to illuminate what wants to come up. So that is so brain dumping and clarifying and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, there's some beautiful things with skincare and whatnot, and um, a lot with spices. And I'm making a lot of fun, healthy-ish kind of treats that I have in the fridge all the time. And it's been fun to experiment. So the idea is to let it complement me.
Hmm.
So if I, in an ideal world, I'll sit down and I'll map out all of my meals for the week and stick to it. But it's just not realistic for my kind of life. But if I have, say, lots of pasta, and then the next day I'm like, oh, why do I feel this? I know exactly why I feel that
Hmm.
because I can look at it through that lens of like, okay, well, this is what that food is doing to my body. And you need all the foods, but the idea is that you kind of balance it out for what you need and you're in balance at the time and season out, seasonally as well, so in the summertime. So summertime is pitta season. So the sun is high, fiery. So your digestion is better during the fiery times of the year and even the day. So like
Hmm.
at lunchtime, the idea is that you can digest better. So some of these harder foods to digest, maybe some like raw greens. If you normally don't digest them very well, you could probably do that a little bit more in the summer because you've got the
Interesting.
elements on your side. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
That's kind
it's
of
cool.
fascinating to know.
And things to put into your water for like extra hydration and electrolytes and stuff. So it's been fun to work with the science in a sense of food and how to change how I feel mentally, emotionally, physically because of what I'm putting into my body. And I know that, we know that, but like to have that in a different kind of framework is just fun to play with.
That's what has been so fascinating to watch with you as you've gone into Ayurveda. And again, like we haven't like spoken a ton or and sent we talked about this before the podcast. It's been since Berkeley's baby shower, which was like end of 21. And so it's been like 5 years that we've actually had a chance to talk to each
Yeah.
other. And, but I've still watched how things are going for you on social media. And one of the things that I have loved watching is these events that you put on. And they usually have food in them, it
Always,
seems, which
always.
can you tell me some more about these fun events that you do?
Sure. I mean, it's been so fun to do. I feel like I love doing events anyway. So to like put, the flavor, the literal flavor of Ayurveda through it, it's been so much more fun. So probably my favorite one that I did was at the start of the year. So I was like, okay, Ayurveda, how can I make this palatable for people to understand on a regular, everyday level? Because knowing that so much is about the daily things. So I was like, I'm going to host a beautiful dinner and invite people to be there. I'm gonna set the scene. I'm gonna make it all vibey, and we're going to talk about the elements through food. So I did this 5 course meal where we went from like grounding, earthy kind of food,
Hmm.
watery food, fiery food, airy food, and then spacious, etheric kind of food.
Hmm.
And the food, so really we just gave attention to the element in that particular dish, and we talked about the effect on our body and kind of what it means. And it was just a cool way to eat delicious food and kind of bring the idea back of like, this is not just food. Food is medicine. There's so much going on governmentally with this food is medicine initiative too. So people are kind of going, hey, ding ding ding, this is the thing. So all the Ayurvedic people, like, we knew this food was medicine a long time ago. So did the ancient Indians back 5,000 years ago. So it's cool to be able to introduce Ayurveda, which is so vast, through food and through the ritual of eating, because you can, the ideas that Ayurveda has such a, like, there's guidelines for eating food and how to approach it, because they're like, okay, don't sit, make sure you're sitting down, and don't be overstimulated as well, because your body needs resources to digest everything well. So if you want good digestion, try these things. So don't talk about politics or religion with people while you're doing that. Leave your phone off. So just like, if you're eating, eat, like, focus on that. And it's about preparing food with the right energy as well. And it's just beautiful. And there's no like chew 20 times and then swallow thing. It's like, I think it's like, get to like a porridgey kind of oatmeal kind of texture. But yeah, but there's a whole approach to eating well for good digestion. Yeah. So it's been fun to, I mean, I've loved events. So yeah, there's so much more I want to do, but so little time. But what else have I done? I like playing with mocktails as well. There's fun things you can do with that. Um, I've been doing some yoga classes. Like, I just certified in restorative yoga, so I've been doing some of those, and yoga nidra I've been certified in for a little while. So I've been serving. I like working with dates. Dates are just so fun to work with, and like sugar-free chocolate as well. So there's all sorts of different
I
combinations you
need
can do
to
with that.
do more with that because I've seen so much where people are like, if you have a problem with sugar and you love chocolate, just sugar or sorry, dates and chocolate are supposed to go really well together.
And they do. My Instagram algorithm is just, it knows me. So my recipes folder is just a cookbook, really. So it's fun to work with, and to be like, okay, yeah, this is like a little indulgent, but I know how this is working for my body, you know. So it's been fun to work with flavor, and that's a creative outlet for me as well. I
Hmm.
mean, I need to eat and I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things about
Yeah.
life. So can I do it with like a medicine mindset, in a sense of like, okay, this is how it's going to work for my body. Let's prepare this well, have it ready so that I could choose that as opposed to the potato chips or something.
That's
Which is
smart.
not against Ayurveda, but necessarily, but it's all like, what I mean, the idea is that you're intuitive about food, that you go, what do I need right now? But then also it's like, I love this, and I use this sometimes too. Sometimes it's like my Ayurvedic doctor said this. She's like, look, if you want the burger, have the burger and enjoy it,
Hmm.
and don't be like, oh, this is bad for me, because energetically that might kind of leach into the experience, and your body's going to be like, oh, this is bad for me, and it's going to have some
Yeah.
effect on you. So it's like, enjoy it and realize that your body can handle it.
I've heard that
Don't
in a
abuse
lot
it.
of weight loss psychology as well. Like
Yeah.
you should never think of food as bad. It's more about, I mean, they use the color system for some things like the green, yellow, red, but
Mm,
which I don't like because you automatically think that red is bad.
yeah.
It's just meaning you shouldn't have as much of it, but I really like, it should be all about intuitive eating and knowing and paying attention to your gut and what your gut is ready to deal with.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes if you're feeling really blue, the only thing that's going to help you feel better is some ice cream or
It's
some
true.
beef. Great. Feed your
Yeah.
emotional health there.
It was extremely hot. Today was the hottest day of the year here in Pittsburgh, and so we were like, we're all going to get ice cream. It's
Yeah. There you go. When you say hot, how hot?
I mean, it's not like Arizona hot.
I was going to say
It is humid here though. So it's humid hot
it's
and
different.
not like Florida humid hot either, but it is what was that? I think the high today was like 89.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's not
Still toasty.
it's just different because we've had these weird ups and downs where it's been like really hot weeks and then all of a sudden it's really cold again. And so we've had a couple weeks
Yeah,
of more cold weather and then all of a sudden it just jumped up and it was hot. And so we're all,
yeah.
going from that extreme is just a lot.
Whiplash. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So tell me about Reiki because you've gotten into Reiki, you've gotten into yoga. So what kind of led
yeah.
in that direction?
Reiki just felt like another layer. There's some people around me who had certified in it and laid it into their own healing modalities. I've got a friend who does sound healing and
Love
all sorts of
sound
different things.
healing.
It's beautiful.
I
Yeah.
want to
So
be a sound healer so much.
it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. There's a lot to learn. I don't know if I'm musically inclined enough for it, but I admire it. And all of the
Oh, it's so
there's so much
cool.
you can
Like the
work with.
way it
Yeah.
makes your body and mind feel when you're in a sound bath, like it's incredible.
It ripples all the cells in your
Yes.
body, shakes them up, and yeah, it's quite a. I mean, it's nature, I mean, that's
Mhm.
Ayurvedic too. It's such a sensory input. It's working with the elements.
Yeah.
It's sound. It's a sense. Yeah. So I love that anything really can be Ayurvedic through that lens as well, through the senses too. But Reiki was just a different kind of layer. What I wanted is a way to help me connect to myself and the powers of the universe, really. I feel like I spent so much time in my head because I felt so safe there, that I could make decisions out of that. And it was hard for me to kind of, make those, like I'd stay up here and I'd avoid making decisions because I'd try to, pros and cons, and I'd try to like think my way to a decision. But I wanted to really drop. I wanted to get my heart involved as well because, when I had done that, I liked how it felt to make decisions from that space. But
Mhm.
because I'd spent so long in the corporate world operating from that's where I relied on it. I was kind of stuck there. So I tried to kind of reach down and kind of blend the two a little bit more. And I couldn't. I felt like I needed a little bit more help. So kind of selfishly, I was like, I just want to understand how this all works so I can operate from a more grounded, embodied place in my life. So that's what it helped me to do. It helped me to kind of understand how to harness universal energy and bring it through to help people, because that's kind of where I'm at. I want to provide experiences. I want to provide that for other people for some kind of healing or some kind of
Mhm.
betterment through me. So that's what it helped me to do is to kind of channel it through, not be the one who's doing any kind of healing or any kind of change, but being a clean, pure channel for it to flow through. So if I can kind of refine myself and refine that energy and direct it in certain places, then I can help restore people to their natural balance. So it's been lovely to feel, because it's all energy, so to kind of to learn the language of Reiki, of like the energetic language of Reiki, of going, to even do it, yes, on myself, but on other people too, is to kind of feel the sensations and what your interpretation is, or not even that, but like your sensory information is, like how you feel information, and what's, from all people's chakras, and just bodily stuff going on. What's in balance? What does imbalance feel like? And what does balance feel like? How do you? I mean, it's all through your hands and through your intuition. So it was just fascinating to learn that language and learn the sensations of it all, and to practice with it, and to do the sessions with people, and they're like, oh, I felt this, or I felt this, or and you're like, yep, I know, I felt the same thing. So that is so satisfying to kind of be that helper of change in people through all sorts of different modalities. So it's just another layer for me. So eventually I would love to, I mean, one day I would love to have my own practice and be able to do Ayurvedic consultations, and then do some Reiki. And I love crystals as well. So I have this whole vision of like, okay, I can, use essential oils, and I can use the crystals, and I can use the Reiki, and like talk with people, and go, look, this is what, and layer it all together, and be like, okay, based on what I felt in your chakras and what I know about you Ayurvedically, here's a plan that I would suggest through this framework. So we'll see where it all takes me, but so many different ideas and not enough time to do it all. But yeah,
Yes.
Reiki is just lovely. It is. It's helped me to kind of, again, another framework to understand what's going on in my body. I'm like, okay, well, my solar plexus, that's really off, and I think I know why, and then I can do certain things to help that, that wheel spin a bit better, and whatnot. So even, because it's like color based as well. So I'm like, okay, well, if this particular chakra feels low for me, then I can wear that color, so it's, again, it's sensory. It's like, what am I digesting through my eyes? Can I wear more red or something, and that'll help me ground a little bit more. So it's just different, again, toolbox things that you can pull from to balance things. But yeah, Reiki is just lovely. It's lovely to, I'm Reiki 2 certified at this point, and I'd love to be a master at some point. But just to kind of look at life through, and to realize kind of it's going to sound woo-woo, but the power you can harness for good things. It's lovely.
That's so fun. Wow. Well, this has been so incredible to talk to you about this. This is, if you can't tell, I'm like super excited about it.
we probably need to talk a little bit more often too. I'd
Yes,
love to
I'm
chat
so
with you about your
excited.
journey.
I really want to, because we're trying to move to Las Vegas right now. And I mean, anybody who's been reading the blog, listening to the show should hopefully know that by now. But I'm like, as soon as I move there, like when you put on one of your events, I'm gonna have to just take a trip and
I would love that.
go to them.
Make it extra special.
Yes, super cool. Well, to end, do you have any advice for somebody who's wanting to or looking to go into Ayurveda or some type of healing study?
Trust your gut. I feel like there's, the powers that be, if you're interested in it, will give you those little leadings, and, point you where is a good thing for you to explore if you want. So trust your gut with it all. But Ayurvedically, I mean, start if you want with an online quiz. It's a Prakruti quiz. Quiz is the Sanskrit name. So that's your original constitution. But then also you might get something called a Vikruti quiz, which is like your current imbalance. So it could be either of the two. So it'll get you close, but there's lots of Ayurvedic counselors and specialists and doctors out there. So it's worth, even if you don't do like a full, if you don't make it a monthly thing, go to a few sessions just to realize who you are through that lens. It will help you meet yourself. That's one of the things that I've loved about Ayurveda, is like I've got to meet myself in a whole different way and be like, oh, there I am. Oh, there I am too. Oh, don't like that part, but I get it now. So explore it. dip your toe in. If anybody wants a recommendation for some Ayurvedic specialists or doctors, I'm happy to provide them. There's a few really good ones that I know, particularly in Salt Lake. But feel it out. Try what feels good, but follow the promptings, because there's opportunities out there. People need it. Like, people find your own flavor. I mean, that's something that I've thought with my, this whole journey into, healing modalities and whatnot, is like, we're all just doing it in our own different flavors, and we should, because we've got our different flavors that people are going to resonate with more than other people, but we all need you.
Yeah. So fun. Thank you so much, Justine, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
This has been a blast.
My pleasure. It's been so good to catch up again. We need to do this more often.
Yes, we should. I need to not live so far away. But,
That'd be great. Yeah, because you did leave first.
It's true. It's my fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the podcast. This has been super fun. If you want to know more about Justine, be sure to follow her at working_Ayurveda. I'll put that information in the show notes. And come back to the next episode, where I'm sure we're going to have more fun stuff ahead.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, thanks for listening. Or if you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. I appreciate more than you know your love and support. If you're looking for more by Sarah, check out my website at sarahanncomty.com and find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Sarah Ann Comty. I'd also love it if you hit that subscribe button and share this with your friends. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.